If you're young and just single and a mother,
You never know what God can do.
but you better believe you can make it through it. Stand up tall and pay your dues.
This is YSM. What's up? Welcome to Young Single Mothers. My name is Yolanda, and today I want to talk about embracing the journey. But before I get into that, on the 5th of December 2020, I was given the amazing honor, the amazing privilege of giving a speech at a book launch. I was like, oh my goodness, little me, like how? So this amazing woman, Malawian woman called Caroline Queen Gondwe, or Queen Caroline Gondwe, wrote this amazing book, How to Raise a Spiritual Child. And she sent me a message and said, hey, I was talking to my daughter and she recommended that you could do a speech at the launch of this book. I was amazed, to say the least. And normally when I do speaking, because I co-host a podcast, I host a radio show, I host Young Single Mothers, I never prepare, to be honest. I don't know if you've noticed, but oh my goodness, I prepared for that speech. I actually wrote it out and everything. And before I go on to talking about what I might have, said in the 3 minutes that I was given, I got to be in the presence of not just, Queen Gondwe, who has stepped out and written a book. I think people who write books are phenomenal, and I'm trying to get all the Malawian authored books and collect them and actually read them as well. I'm waiting for audiobooks. Help me out, people. And also I got to be in the presence of the Minister of Gender, Patricia Gagliardi, who has just always amazed me. I just find her so phenomenal. She's like girl power personified. And yeah, it was just an amazing day and an amazing occasion to be a part of. And I think just having been a part of that made me realize that, we can't take for granted these things that we might look at as small. I believe God always has a purpose in everything He allows us to experience and all the things that we go through. So I was very honored to speak at that event. My dad managed to make it, even though he got there after my speech. Mom had other things to do. But really, my focus of the speech was not just to encourage parents to more like encourage young people to listen to their parents. And I tried to strike a balance. I kind of made a narrative of a parent speaking from their heart about what they want for their children, and then the child speaking from their heart what they desire from their parent. So my speech was called Heart of the Child. And I think the biggest thing that I got to, and also in relation to hosting Young Single Mothers, is that our children need to really sense the love, the acceptance, the fact that their parents are willing to really put them first, and not because the world revolves around them, but because they are delicate and what they want from life is important. I think a lot of times as parents, we want to lord over our children what we want from them and what we just want to, we don't want to embrace who the child is. Rather, we want to mold them into who we want them to be. So that was really the heart of the speech, and trying to really drive in for us parents to understand that our children are individuals and that they do have their own dreams, their own hopes, things that they want to achieve in life. But in the center of that, it's so important as parents to realize that we set the tone. We set the tone for our household. We set the tone for our families. And even in a two-people family where it's a single mom and their child, mom, you set the tone. So we're going to get into a lot of that, because I want to delve into this book over a few episodes, because what I love about this book is that it feels like a what's the best word? it feels like a manual. It feels like, you can just go to the specific chapter you want to read about. One of the early chapters in here is called Blended Families. And I saw that and I was like, yeah. I think that needs to be in there, because these days it's such a huge thing. There's so many blended families. You come from being a single mom and then you meet somebody and maybe they already have children. We need that. So it's a great manual and you can go through all the different chapters. Like, I just go directly to what I want to read at that specific time. But there's so many great chapters and so many great topics covered in this book that was written by a phenomenal Malawian woman who has done so many great things. I think she writes a bit about herself on the back of the book. So if you're in Malawi and you want to get this book, I'm going to put details in the description so you can get it. It's only 5,000 kwacha, which is like dead cheap for a phenomenal book. So I would totally and highly recommend you get this book. So, embracing the journey. So I like to watch people. I'm one of those people observers, not because I'm perfect or I have it all figured out, but it's just interesting to see how people navigate life, the decisions that they make. I like to ask people why. I'm one of those, I'm really nosy. I like to really get into people's spaces. I used to be very shy, but nowadays I'm not. I just feel like as people, we should really embrace our lives and the journey that we are on, be very open with them, and accept where we're at. Because I feel like when we don't accept where we're at, it does more damage than good. And coming from a place of a single parent, it's important to embrace the single mom life. I've heard stories of single moms who deny their children. I've heard stories of single moms who, when they meet somebody, their children get pushed into the background. I've heard of single moms who completely don't even acknowledge the existence of their child or their children to a person that they meet, which I think is not a good way at all to start a relationship. And things like that break my heart, because rejection is so real. And I think a lot of people in this world are walking around feeling rejected. I know that it can be quite sensitive for single moms in similar position as me, where the father either is not, playing a very present role in the child's life. Maybe they've completely decided not to be involved whatsoever. And as a mother, you have that desire for your child to have their father in their life. Whether you're together or not, their presence is important. And I think we realize and recognize that. But of course, sometimes we face situations where that kind of thing is not under our control. So what I'm trying to drive at more than anything is to encourage the single mom or the single parent that as you walk this journey, and as the days come and things come and they go and situation keeps it growing, things are happening. Sometimes when the child is a baby, you're just like, oh, when are they going to sit? When are they going to stand? When are they going to walk? When are they going to be independent? But we don't realize how quickly that time passes by. And before you know it, you're facing different challenges where you're not able to answer certain questions. You don't really know how to address certain situations. And I think it's important in the process of embracing the journey is to become knowledgeable of the things you need to know about the adolescent years. Understand, why is my child throwing tantrums? Why are we suddenly not getting along? What happened to that cute baby that I knew? Like, things change. Children change, people change, and we grow and we start to take different directions in life. So being able to be intentional about the different seasons of parenting, the different seasons of a child's life, and just really allowing yourself to grow as they grow, evolve as they evolve. Try not to get stuck in the past, because that's a real thing. I've experienced it. And just really embrace the moments. Now, I don't want to become preachy about being a parent, because let's face it, I'm only just facing each step as it comes. But from what I have experienced so far is that I want my child and I to build a bond that gives him the security and the confidence in who he is, and allows him to grow in that. I want us to do things together, even if it's just washing the dishes, doing devotionals, which have started to do it together, like the same devotional. Before, he had his own little devotionals for babies, but now we can just really embrace all these different life issues together as he grows. teaching him how to do certain things. I haven't always been able to teach him everything. Somebody else taught him how to ride a bike. Somebody else taught him how to wash his underwear properly. But just knowing that those moments with your child are not just mundane. Those are bonding moments that allow you to really get to know who they are, how they think, how they see the world. I'm always asking my son questions, and sometimes he feels like I'm being intrusive or he's too embarrassed to talk about a certain thing, especially now that he's growing up. We used to talk about sex and read about sex in his younger years because my phenomenal younger sister, who always makes sure I'm fully equipped, got some age-appropriate books to teach my child about sex. And I'm like, baby, if you're gonna learn about it, you're gonna learn about it from me. And I will be as detailed as I can be, age appropriate, so that you're able to know and understand a thing that I feel like in the world, we don't fully, it's an embarrassing topic and I don't know why. And it's hard to talk about, but I think it's important as a mom or as a parent in general to talk about these things with your child and don't give them the bees and the birds kind of talk. You need to be real about what it is that it is. And it's not just don't do it, because children will do it, okay? And you want them to understand why, what are the issues that come along with sexual intercourse. And without getting too deep into all of that, it's very, it's become very important to me to realize that, like I said before, I set the tone for my family. And I want my child, my son, to know how important he is to me, and that I am there, and that he will always be a present person in my life, regardless of who comes and goes. He's my constant. And it's important for us as single moms to embrace this journey, to not be ashamed of where we've come from, and to allow our children to see our human side, to see that this journey, as much as it's not ideal, we're gonna take it up with all the confidence that we can muster up and all the tenacity and all the oomph that is required to be a parent, because you can't be a parent and be weak. You can't be a parent and expect that somebody else is gonna come along and take over your responsibilities. It's up to you, it's up to us, it's up to me, it's up to you. It is something that I believe God doesn't bless you with a child when he thinks that you're not going to be able to handle that. And I think that it's very important to acknowledge where you're at and to really use all the wisdom in the world and understanding in the world to navigate the single mom life with wisdom and understanding, and the openness to ask for help when you need it, because it's not easy going at it alone. Ask for help from friends, from parental figures, from people who are wise and knowledgeable of different things. It's important to ask for help when needed. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable and to be open and to be real of your journey and where you're at. You'll be amazed at how open people are to assisting, to helping, to offering wisdom in different circumstances and situations. So yeah, go out there, go for it, embrace your single mom life and do it with all your might. Until next week, peace, love, and happiness. Bye-bye. Join me next week as I will be talking to a phenomenal young woman who was raised by a single mother. What she shares is priceless.
But you better believe you can make it through it. Stand up tall and pay your dues.
This is YSM.